We got some breaking news on New Year's Eve for you Green Bay Packers fans. That is, the Packers are claiming cornerback Trevon Diggs just a day after he was released from the Dallas Cowboys. This was something that we talked about at length yesterday, and we knew that this was a legitimate possibility. Tom Pelissero was the one with the initial report just about 24 hours from right now that they were waiving Trevon Diggs. That is the Dallas Cowboys. And then Adam Schefter was the one that had the report just about 20 minutes ago that from a source, Packers cornerback Trevon Diggs is signing with the Packers. Or excuse me, Cowboys cornerback Trevon Diggs signing with the Packers. My instant reaction, now I'm going to go into depth on all of this, but just first off, like when I heard the news, not really surprising at all. Look, this was something we talked about yesterday, that this is a legit possibility because of the lack of depth at the cornerback position, because of the fact that pretty much every single person in that room seems to be injured right now. You just need bodies. More on that in a second. Hey, look, if news breaks, we've got you covered right here on the Packers Report. This happened. We threw together graphics, a thumbnail, a video, all in about 20 minutes. It's going to be out on the channel in no time. Obviously, it is if you're watching it right now. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications to keep as up-to-date as possible on everything Green Bay Packers. We're 110 subs away from 22.5K. Help us out. Subscribe to the channel. Adam Schefter did update his original tweet that the Packers claimed Trevon Diggs off of waivers. They did not sign him. So basically the process went like this. He got released from the Cowboys. He has to go through the waiver wire, which basically means every single team has a chance to claim him off waivers. You play fantasy football. You know what I'm talking about. If nobody claims him, then he becomes a free agent. So what that means is because the Packers claimed him, they have his full contract. Now, it's not that expensive for this year. Like, they owe him, I believe, just around $500,000 for the rest of the year, which sounds like a lot to you and me, but for these teams, it's really just a drop in the bucket. And it does mean they have him signed for the next couple of years, but there's no guarantees in his contract, meaning they could cut him pretty much without really any penalty if they don't want to keep him around for the next couple of seasons. The reason they did this, we already briefly discussed it. The cornerback room is absolutely depleted right now. And honestly, even going into the season, going into the final stretch of the season, you didn't really have much confidence in that cornerback room anyway. But then, like at the end of the Baltimore game, you started looking around. You started saying, oh my goodness, where is everybody? Where did everybody go? To the injury tent. That's where. Late against Baltimore, these were your only three defensive backs, corners or nickels, not safeties added. Keyshawn Nixon, Carrington Valentine, Javon Bullard. That was it. Kamal Hadden had to get carted off. Nate Hobbs left with a knee injury. Both of those players are not going to play another snap this season. You need bodies, ladies and gentlemen. And that's exactly what Trevon Diggs is. And that's the pro, right? Just more depth at that position. Now, with every pro, there are cons. And his con is he's not very good at football anymore, which sucks because that's what you're paying him $500,000 to do. Did you know that opposing quarterbacks have a perfect 158.3 passer rating when targeting Trevon Diggs this season? Of course, that metric per PFF, that's pretty ridiculous. And comparatively, like you might not love Keyshawn Nixon and Carrington Valentine, Trevon Diggs is playing worse than both of those guys. You can see the quarterback rating, how much it jumps up to Trevon Diggs. Completion percentage jumps up when it goes to Trevon Diggs. He has less yards allowed, but we got to take into account the fact that he has played 8 less games than both Keyshawn Nixon and Carrington Valentine. I showed you this yesterday because I saw it on Twitter yesterday, and I thought it was absolutely hilarious. I don't know who it was, but somebody tweeted out, imagine him and Gary on the same field together. It'd be like defending with 9 players. And he's not necessarily wrong. Look, all in all, I'm not freaking out too much about this. That's why you don't hear me get too excited about it. You don't hear me get too frustrated about it because it feels like just one of those things. Look, he's not going to be CB1 or CB2. Hell, he might not even be CB3 on this roster. This is a guy just to get bodies. He's not going to compete with Nixon or Valentine because he can't compete. Excuse me. A little under the weather here. He can't compete with those guys. I'm sorry. And for all of you guys who think, Joey, maybe it's going to be different in Green Bay, change of scenery. It's not that big of a change of scenery. Okay? This defense is run pretty much the exact same way that Cowboys defense is run. So, all in all, I don't expect too much of a change for the Trevon Diggs you've seen this season. You're not going to get the Trevon Diggs of 2022, okay? That Trevon Diggs was awesome. That Trevon Diggs was fun. That Trevon Diggs made plays. This one doesn't as much. Not great in coverage. But what he is what you don't have. Warm bodies that are healthy that can go out there and play football. And him and Micah Parsons. Hell, they can be roommates again. Do you think Trevon Diggs will play more than 10 snaps this season? Give me a yes or a no down below in the comment section. Gage, what do you think? Gage does not think so. I think like 12. So I'll say yes. Something you should say yes to is our awesome sponsor of today's program. It's our great friends over at Underdog. Football season, it's almost over, but Underdog is still the best place to get in on all the action. So let's cut to the chase. If you download the app today and use promo code PackersReport to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. Here is my Underdog lineup for tonight's game, Cotton Bowl, Ohio State, Miami. Gage and I will be live for that one on our main Chat Sports channel. I get the higher on Julian Sayin, 1.5 passing touchdowns. The higher on Jeremiah Smith, 81.5 receiving yards. And I really like Mark Fletcher Jr. I think he's a very underrated player. Give me the higher on 55.5 rushing yards for the tailback for the Miami Hurricanes. Download the app today and use promo code PackersReport to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That is promo code PackersReport. Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 18 or older, 19 or older in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 or older in Colorado for some games, 21 or older in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/playing-good-terms_DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-367. Matt LaFleur did confirm today at his press conference before practice that he will be resting the starters, some of them, against the Minnesota Vikings. I got a couple of thoughts on this. Thought number one, I think this is the right decision. I think this is a good idea. I think when you look at this game, it has nothing to do with your seeding. Whether you win by 100 or lose by 1,000,000, you are going to be the 7th seed in the playoffs, right? Now, talked about this a lot. To me, it matters a little bit if you win because I would love to go into the playoffs riding a 1-game winning streak rather than a 4-game losing streak. But I'd rather go in fully healthy. And if you don't really play your starters, what this week does for you is gives you a bye week. Especially when you think about the health on this roster. Both quarterbacks being injured. The cornerbacks, the reason you have to sign a guy like Trevon Diggs. Josh Jacobs is going through his own injury problems. Jordan Love is going still through concussion protocol. Like, you've got injuries all over the place. Defensive line. Everybody's injured. So give them an extra week of rest. That's going to be important. Because if you play Chicago, which right now you have a better chance to play Chicago than Philadelphia, they're going to play their guys this week because they still got a chance to sneak into, I believe, still the 1 seed. The 1 seed's still alive for them or no? But they got a chance to lock down that 2 seed, which they would like to have rather than falling down to the 3. So Chicago's going to be playing their guys. Mike Spofford tweeted this out today. Newly acquired Packers quarterback Desmond Ridder at practice today. Also, Nick Niemann's practice window to return from IR has opened. That's really, really big, especially when it comes to special teams. Bo Melton is back in a green practice jersey at defensive back. So he started the year, he went into the offseason wide receiver. Training camp, cornerback. Came into the year, cornerback. Then they kind of moved him back to wide receiver. Now they're moving back to quarterback. If anything, Matthew Golden should be happy about that. He'll get a little bit more reps in the game, hopefully. Not practicing, Tavian Wicks. He had to deal with a concussion, left the game against the Baltimore Ravens because of it. He won't play on Sunday. Nate Hobbs, not going to play for the rest of the year. Zane Anderson, not going to play the rest of the year. LaFleur confirmed both of those. And Zach Tom, not going to play Week 18. Hopefully he'll be back to go, ready to go by the playoffs. That's going to do it for today's show. Thanks so much for being with us. 2 shows today. Like we said, breaking news happens. We got you covered. Make sure you guys got me followed on socials. I actually had this covered on social media before I did here because it's quicker to send out a tweet than it is to make a video. So follow me there. Make sure you subscribe. Turn on those notifications. And, hey, have fun New Year's Eve tonight, okay? Appreciate all the support we've gotten in 2025. Truly does mean a lot. This channel started in 2025. Grew unbelievably. And that's because of you guys. So it's a great year for us. 2026 is going to be a great one. Have fun tonight. Be safe. Make good choices. Hey, we'll see you next year.